Hi, I'm Bill Hodges, and this is Spotlight on Tampa Bay. And we have a guest today from a brand new part of Hillsborough Community College, Dr. Alan Witt. Great to have you on the show.
Well, great to be here.
It's amazing. Now, I understand you're the Dean
Of Academic Affairs.
Now, wait, are there that many affairs going on they need a dean for it?
As long as you keep the affairs academic, it's okay. We've checked the rule book.
Oh, all right. If it was student affairs, do they have one for student affairs?
We do have one for student affairs, but I'll let him address that.
That would be more difficult. What does the Dean of Academic Affairs do at Hillsborough Community College and the South Campus, South Shore Campus?
Well, South Shore Campus is the 5th campus and the newest campus of Hillsborough Community College. And so when you're starting a new campus, kind of what the academic dean does is everything. You start out with, well, where are the faculty? Well, they're not here. We actually had a handful of faculty from a storefront center that we'd had before. But basically, we've hired all the faculty, we've credentialed all the faculty, made sure that they have all the credits they need to teach all the courses, and we found some terrific people. Just as you know, in this area, there are so many wonderful people who really want to give back to their community. Some of them recently retired, some of them working adults who want to teach at night. So to find those people and to convince them that they really need to teach the students at Hillsborough Community College, and then to decide which courses we're going to offer, because you may offer a course in downtown Tampa at our Dale Mabry campus, but what do the students really want to take and really need to take at a new campus of the college? So essentially my job has been to figure those things out and to put together the faculty and the courses that students want, and to get those courses up and running. And we started last August, and it looks like we did a pretty good job of it. I can't take all the credit. We've had a great staff, really great staff of folks.
Now, where is the college located?
The college is in Ruskin, Florida, and I know all of you know where Ruskin, Florida is, but if you're new here and you don't, the tomato capital of the world, right on I-75 in just about 15 minutes south of Brandon. So our campus is really, you can get to our campus in less than a minute from I-75. So it's probably the most accessible campus of Hillsborough Community College.
Is that 27th Street that it's on?
Yes, it's on 24th Street.
24th.
24th. You turn off of I-75, and then you turn right on 30th, and then left again on Shell Point and right on 24th. And we're right at the corner. Only college at that corner. Right across from Leonard High School.
It's fabulous. This whole complex they're building. It's going to be really nice as Leonard High School people graduate. They can go right across the street practically and go into your buildings.
Actually,
some of them probably take classes along the way, don't they?
We're doing even better than that. You hit the nail right on the head. The school board and our board of trustees were really visionary, and last month passed an agreement that allows Leonard High School students to complete their first year of college before they finish Leonard High School.
Wow! Now how do they do that?
This will be the brightest and the best of the students. But if you are a second semester high school student at Leonard High School and you take the PSAT, and we're the first school in the state that is allowed placement with the PSAT. But in Hillsborough County, all high school students take PSAT. So it's a natural. If you score a 51 on the PSAT at Leonard High School and have a 3.0 grade point, you can enter what is now being called the HCC Leonard Academy. And we will guarantee you classes during the high school day, the last 2 periods of the high school day, 2 classes per semester, and you can finish 30 credits, which is the first year of your college degree before you exit Leonard High School. And the reality is, if you want to take a class at night or take classes in the summer, you could actually get halfway through your sophomore year of college before you finish Leonard High School. And we are actually starting our first classes in that academy on Monday. We have 17 students registered, and we expected 5 or 6 would meet the criteria because it's strong criteria. And we ended up with 18, and it looks like 17 of those are going to go.
You know, I'm glad it's called the Leonard Academy, very honestly, because Dr. Leonard is one of my most favorite people. He is the most down-to-earth educator that I have ever met. I've had him on this show, and we've talked, and I personally know him. And Dr. Leonard is just absolutely, if there were a pattern that you could put professors through or teachers through, it would be his pattern, because he really cares about the kids, and he's so down to earth in the way he presents everything.
You know, I did not meet Dr. Leonard until about 4 months ago. And let me explain. I was brought onto a campus that did not exist. We were in a construction trailer for a year, looking out at a hole in the ground, you know, with girders rising up, and across the street was this massive edifice called Leonard High School. And people said, Dr. Leonard, in hushed tones. And so I had expected, you know, this very austere senior, and I was at a Chamber of Commerce meeting talking about the campus and the academy, and he just walks across the room after and said, "Hi, I'm Earl Leonard." Good. And immediately rapport, immediate friends, immediately so down to earth, and you really saw why he is loved in that community. And he's also going to serve on, is serving now on our Friends of South Shore campus.
Well, you couldn't have anybody better to do it, because
absolutely.
he's been a friend to the kids right from the start. The young people going through school were his #1 issue, everything I've ever seen him do. And it's great to have him involved with your organization.
And the name of our academy, people say the Leonard High School Academy, but it's actually called the HCC Leonard Academy. And the high school is given, but I kind of like that. I kind of like that it really is named not as much after the high school as after one of the great educators in this county.
What a wonderful thing for a young person to be able to start out in high school and have some impetus to really have those great grades and take that SAT early.
Yeah, and I want to follow through on this because it's a little bigger picture than that. There is what's called the AVID program, which kind of started from some seed money from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, but now has been picked up by the state and by the public schools. And AVID is a program that prepares students to succeed in high school and college, and it begins in middle school. And so our vision is that when you are in the AVID program at Best Shields Middle School, and you're 12, 13 years old, that you have held out in front of you, if you get your grade point up to 3.0 in high school, and you study for those tests, don't blow off PSAT, but really get your PSAT scores up to 51, that out in front of you is a free first year of college, or year and a half of college, because they don't have to pay tuition, they don't have to pay books.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
it's
these
state
people
law.
in this Leonard Academy don't have to pay
Until
college?
they graduate from high school, they don't have to pay any tuition, and the public schools pay for their books. We waive their tuition, the public schools pay for their books.
Mom and Dad, you get them working hard.
Listen.
Think about that. With effort, you could actually put your children through the first year and a half of college without having to spend a nickel. Mm-hmm. Think what that would do to the money you save for the rest of their college.
So you have that child that's just finished elementary school and they're starting middle school, and and they're thinking, I don't know, is it worth it? I want to hang out with my friends. I want to do all those things that teenagers do. But why would I want to do this? And then suddenly hanging out in front of you is, if you're the best of the best, if you keep that grade point at 3.0 and you succeed on PSAT, then during the day of your high school, you don't have to even go extra hours, you finish your first year of college for free.
Wow.
No scholarships,
Let's talk about the SATs. Mm-hmm. Well, that's been thrown around a lot, and a whole lot of people have used that. But what does it really mean? 51, what does that equate to?
And that's on PSAT. We place anybody on SAT, CPT, which is the state test, and ACT. We place anybody in. But this is the first attempt to use PSAT in the state.
Now, what is PSAT? I didn't know for sure what an
Pre-SAT.
SAT was.
Yeah.
Oh, pre-SAT.
Pre-SAT. And this is the test that you take when you're a freshman and sophomore to kind of say, are you ready for the SATs? And whether you agree with the SATs or not, and I won't go into that, there's a lot of different opinions among educators, but this is the standard that you use to get placed in the University of Florida, University of Miami, Harvard, and so it's like arguing about a ball game whether a touchdown should count 6 points or whether it should count 4 points, but that's what it counts.
The rule says it's
that's
6
the
points.
rule.
That's right.
And so the PSAT is that test that you take that says, before I take those SATs when I'm a junior, I need to study a little more math. But it actually equivalents, and the College Board will tell you the equivalent. They have told us to the SAT. So we went to the State Commissioner of Education. It actually had to be waived at a state level, and said to him, give us a chance, since all of these students are taking that anyway. Why would we make these students take a second placement test? Because all tests are a little different. Why wouldn't we place them on PSAT? And he said, because this is a pilot, let's do it, let's try it. And he gave us, we have a letter from the State Commissioner of Education giving us permission to do this. And I am 100% sure that those students are going to be successful. Because talking to them, and they came over to sign up the other day, they're extremely motivated. Many of them, coincidentally, are the children of immigrants to this country. Not all, but about 20% of them are children of first-generation immigrants to their country.
Haven't lost their work ethic.
And their parents are working manual labor jobs, killing themselves. And the idea that most of them were born in this country, but their parents are here. The idea that, that I am not only the first generation in my family that will be able to go to college, in many cases, first generation of the family that graduated from high school, and it's the college right across the street.
Now, is this strictly a program with South Shore, or is there other campuses that are doing the same thing in conjunction with other?
Right now, this is approved for South Shore campus and Leonard High School. And the school board has said they would like this to be kind of a magnet program. And they said this at the school board meeting, that students who really want to follow this, which is we call dual enrollment pattern, would be attracted to Leonard High School. The best and the brightest from around the county would be attracted to Leonard High School specifically to take advantage of this program, which again brings the best and the brightest students into Leonard, and it's wonderful for all the students and faculty at Leonard High School.
I think it's wonderful for Ruskin.
It is.
Because Ruskin has a lot of really talented and really neat people there, but they have a blue-collar image in Ruskin that's changing.
It is, and it was the visionary nature of the people who put this campus and this high school where it is. And I encourage all of you who haven't been out to see the campus. It is one of those distinctive buildings. I said this, and somebody said, is that true? And then they went out and looked at it and they said, yes. What I said was, when you see a picture of the Eiffel Tower, you know you're in Paris. In future generations, when you see South Shore campus, people, if you've ever seen it, will say, that's not just any building anywhere. This is Ruskin, Florida, because before we actually opened for classes, this building won the Architecture of the Year award for Tampa Bay. It is the first green college campus, nationally certified green college campus in the state of Florida. And it's an astounding piece of architecture. But the citizens of this area, particularly the Dickman family, particularly leaders of Sun City Center, came together with the college, and the Dickman family said, if you build a college campus here, we will give you essentially $1 million worth of land to build that college on. And our Board of Trustees and our President, Dr. Stevenson, were visionary enough when that land was tomato fields and when people were saying, Ruskin College, to say, there is really a potential for a college campus here. And they saw the growth in the area before the new developments were plotted out. They knew it was coming. They hired planners to find out what that growth would be, and they saw it, and they built a college campus ahead of the growth pattern. And usually the opposite happens.
True.
Traditional college campus, you know, you wait for all these houses to be built, and then you say, well, there's no campus here, and then you spend $20 million acquiring the land because of all the houses, and tear down a bunch of houses, build a campus. Instead, they built ahead of the growth pattern. We were predicted to have about 300 to 500 students our first semester. We ended up with 1,542 students.
15 instead of 300, you went to.
Yeah,
That must have gave you
1542.
fits trying to find instructors.
It was a
for
challenge.
all of those.
Literally,
Because you don't know down to the end how many there's going to be and how many classes. Of course, you can always cap the classes. I expect you don't want to do that.
literally, our last report said for our first semester we were at 574% of projection. It has been a wild ride. But what we did was, you know, we smelled it. We sort of, you know, I've been around higher education for 30 years. You sort of know this is coming, and so we built it for about double projection. And then as that filled up, we quickly said to those teachers, I know you said you can only teach 2 classes, but can you teach 3? Can you teach 4? and do you have any friends? And we're able to attract, I think, one of probably the finest faculty I've worked with in my 30 years in higher education.
One of the things that I'm so proud of is that we live over in Sun City Center. Mm-hmm. And in the 3 years that we've been there, and in the 4 or 5 that we've been going over there because we love the ballroom dance, I have met so many highly intelligent, highly educated people that you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, you're sitting next to a guy who was an early broadcaster, who knew Sarnoff, or somebody who was a major in the Chinese army and ended up being an interpreter with the generals, or just any number of people doing so many wonderful things. So this has to be a resource to you.
It is some days, and you know, I've been around higher education for a long time. I've got a doctorate in field, but it is some days just absolutely humbling to come to work with the people that are part-time employees of me. Let me give you a couple examples. Dr. Alfred Lilienthal, survivor of the Holocaust, doctorates in theology and doctorates in philosophy, a classically trained European educator from Austria who came here after the war and now speaks better English than I do, drives to our campus from Brandon to teach classes. Now, this man does not need the money.
No. Not if he's an adjunct professor.
Absolutely.
You don't make any money
He comes
doing that.
because he wants to teach the students of our campus, and particularly the students of our campus. He teaches occasionally at Brandon, but he has developed a passion for our students, most of whom are first generation in college. They're different students, most of whom families are working manual labor jobs, but whose families have said to them, you know, we're going to make the sacrifices for you to succeed, and those students know that. We have a phenomenal student body, a phenomenally dedicated student body. Another teacher, Jeanette Haig, from the border of Sun City Center in Waimama, retired person, taught for 30 some odd years, and her email is actually Jeanette Teaches, which I just love. I won't tell you what because she hasn't given me permission.
Right.
But she just showed up at our door when we were in a storefront center and said, I don't care if you pay me, I want to teach.
Right.
I want to teach.
And that's the kind of professor I want. You know, that's why I liked. Now, I went to school for almost 10 years at night, supported a family, and almost everything I did was at night. I could have went during the day, but I kind of messed that up. So when I got serious, I had to go back and do it at night. But all of my instructors were adjunct, almost all of them. And I absolutely loved them because most of them taught because they loved to teach.
Mm-hmm. almost all of my math department, well over half of my math department, are teachers, the best math teachers from Leonard High School. They walk across the street and teach at night, and their students follow them over.
Yeah.
The students they had last year follow them over. The students that even in summer, we do tremendous summer classes as we're looking for the summer. Our demand for summer is very, very high in mathematics because those students are taking Algebra 2 and they want to take statistics, they want to take calculus.
Right.
With that same teacher that they walked across the street from.
Well, that makes sense. You can get
Madison
continuity.
Pope, who lives in Waimama, is an incredibly popular math teacher at Leonard High School. And I'm proud to say, in our first semester of existence, Madison Pope won Adjunct Professor of the Year, not just from our campus, but from all of Hillsborough Community College, all of the hundreds of adjuncts in Community College, Hillsborough Community College. Madison Pope won Adjunct Professor.
Wow, that's saying something.
And he's that good. You know, if the only wonder is that he didn't win it before. If we had been here 5 years ago, he would have won it 5 years ago.
Now, if someone in Hillsborough County or wherever this is seen wanted to be an adjunct professor, what would they do? Would they contact you at your office, or do they contact personnel, or what do they do?
There's kind of two answers to that,
Okay.
and the big answer is go online to our website, which is hccfl.edu, www.hccfl.edu.
Okay, say that again very slowly.
www.hccfl.edu. Probably the best way to do it is go onto Google and just search Hillsborough Community College.
Community College.
Pop you
Bang.
right up.
Right.
On the right-hand corner, it says Jobs. Click on that and apply to be an adjunct professor at our college. And that way, not only am I looking at your application, but every campus is looking at your application.
Okay, that's even better.
And then if you have a particularly interest in my campus, give me a call. I'm at 259-6000. And just give me a call. Adjunct professors are kind of a seasonal thing. There will be one day when I'll need 3 speech teachers. The next day I don't need any speech teachers. You know, it's depending on the need today, tomorrow. Teachers get full-time jobs, and then suddenly you have a need. Suddenly you don't. But get in that pool. And my tendency is, if I don't have someone on the front of my desk, just to go in that database and start calling people who live close to me. But
Alan,
please do that.
On that telephone number, I had 259-6100.
Yes, excuse me, 259-6100.
Okay,
I
you
think I
said
reversed
6,000, and I thought, uh-oh, I wanted to be sure that we had it right.
Yeah, that takes more directly into me.
Okay, very good. What about students? Let's say that students want to take a part in this program, especially going into Leonard High School. Do they have to apply somewhere to be able to get to Leonard High School?
Yes.
If they don't live near there?
Yes. For this program, they need to become a student at Leonard High School. And so they need to contact the guidance department at Leonard High School and see about doing that. And the students that we are doing, we already have the first class. So the next class that we will be doing will be sophomores next year. This is a once-a-year class, and it's not a thing where, gosh, I missed the scores this time, I can get in when I'm a junior. It is a cohort of students because we want these students to really bind together, to be a group. All the data suggests that if you go through as a learning community, the same students flowing through one class after another, grades are higher, success is higher.
Sure.
So we want these students so it will be second semester sophomores. So you would need to be a sophomore at Leonard High School next year in order to start the next class, and then the next class, and the next class. So these sophomores will then, they'll take the same 2 classes this semester, and then they will take another 2 classes together the first semester of their junior year.
So we're talking about the basic classes then?
Mm-hmm.
The general
education classes.
Math, English, those kind of classes.
The first classes they're taking are classes that have high success rates and really interest students. The first one is an orientation to college. It's called College Success, and it's a credit class. that most students take at Hillsborough Community College. And then the other class is general psychology, which counts for a social science credit. And then their second semester, beginning a junior year, after they've had a taste of college, then they will begin their math and their English.
I have so many questions for you, and you have so many answers. Is there anything that you would like to say in a minute or so directly to the people of Hillsborough County about your, or I want to use the term university because it's getting so big, about your college?
I really want to say to you that Hillsborough Community College is, and South Shore campus particularly, are an extraordinary gift to this community. The legislature of Florida was smart enough in the 1950s to say, we want to put a college that is affordable to the average citizen, and tuition for community colleges is still the best deal in the world, within driving distance of every student in the state. And with this campus, we are now in easy commute to everybody in the fast-growing area of southern Hillsborough County, and even though we don't advertise to them, we're beginning to get students that are coming up from Manatee County because we're a little closer than some of the Manatee campuses. And please take advantage of this college. You have professors that are every bit even more qualified than many of the professors you'll get at a university. You have classes that are scheduled to meet your needs day, night, weekend. We have a huge weekend schedule this semester. The entrance scores are very reasonable. If you don't meet the entrance scores in math, reading, and English, we actually have classes that will train you, we call prep classes, that will train you to meet those scores. So if you have a high school diploma, and maybe you say, oh gosh, I'll never pass the test to get into college. If you have a high school diploma from an accredited institution anywhere in the United States, we will take you. And if you don't have the math and English to do it, we'll train you to have that math and English.
Some people just don't take tests well when they're under pressure like that, but are good students, and good people, and there's a tremendous amount of resource to return to the community with all these educated people who live here. You know, Dr. Witt, I just loved having you on the program, and I want to come over. Will you give me a tour of the college one of these days?
I absolutely will, and I want to show and invite the people out there to come, and I'll give them.
We're running out of time, so I've got to take control here and come over and take your trip. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Bill Hodges. We've had Dr. Witt from the Hillsborough County Community College. You're unique, you're special, and you're great. Tell you so often because you are, you know. And we'll catch you on the next Spotlight on Tampa Bay.